Yeah, so I guess we started doing Still Ill as a thing about thinking about what can the city tell us about illness, or what can illness tell us about the city more accurately. After a lot of things that we kind of thought about, we were led to a particular decision. We knew that we wanted to tell a story from the point of view of someone who was ill.
And basically Jazz was going to walk out of her house, step out into the street with a 2-1 in philosophy from York University. She doesn't give a shit, she keeps going. She's a striding boss, tenner in her pocket, doesn't care. Buys an apple from a corner shop, bites into it, a little bit manky, doesn't mind. Thank you.
And we kind of looked at various different illnesses, and the kind of illness we got very interested in, I got very interested in, is called functional neurological disorder, which means that it has no organic cause in the body. The whole project of modern medicine is something about finding cause and effect. It's something about finding a reason why something is caused and then kind of dealing with that particular reason.
For the ankle jerk, I would hit my hand or turn the leg like this. I can't do it without a patella hammer, I don't think. I would hit it there, and you'd see the ankle go down like that.
And it seemed to me that is there something about medicine that's quite difficult when you have a problem that is not immediately kind of cause and effectable. And this is what's quite interesting about functional problems, which is that when you look at them, when you take, say, for example, someone is paralysed in the left-hand side of their body, but they have a functional condition. If you take their reflexes, then their reflexes still work. If you have someone who is like organically paralysed in the left-hand side of their body, you take the reflex on the left leg, it won't work. But if you take the reflex of someone on the left leg who has a functional problem, then their reflex will work. So what we did was we kind of got in touch with a lot of people who, with the kind of FND Hope, which is a particular organisation that kind of deals with people which kind of represents people, who have that particular condition, and we spoke to them, and we got some of those people in who have that condition to talk to us about the experience of having that condition.
This is how I describe what I felt. I had a very intense squeezing, twisting feeling deep under the skin. Under the flesh almost. So I'm not talking surface, I'm talking deep. The sensation moved around my body with a tightening and a releasing feeling. I felt it in my upper left arm, like a ripple, moving like a ripple through my body. I felt it on my lower back, my upper thighs. The nearest I can get to a description for you would be to pinch the skin in your stomach and twist it as far as you can. Now that's probably quite a surface feeling. And then if I show you this is how I describe it to people. And then, I don't know whether this will help you with this idea or not. Okay. But if you look at a leg of lamb, okay, and you look at this fibrous tissue, this is what I feel was going on. And I didn't know this at the time, it's only since I've researched and understood that this fibrous tissue is the tissue that connects to the muscles. Mm-hmm. Yes? So the signals are being transmitted.
Our set was the idea for the set was to kind of land a clinical space within this very wild and overgrown space. That was the kind of feeling of like, is there something about medicine which is is there something about the clinic and the idea of the clinic, which is placing a very clean, objective environment within the mess that is the city. So we tried to do this, we built this very white, very clean space within the mess.
So long as there's a plan, commit to something. I don't mind what it is. Your granddad worked in a sweatshop. You can do anything, Jasmine. Chef, you're good at cooking. A butcher, they have these courses now. Graphic designer, you love drawing. Tailor, chimney sweep, brewer, cobbler, blacksmith, tanner.
And so that's what we did. So we made like a kind of 20-minute piece about this person up to the point at which they get diagnosed with a functional condition. And so what we want to do next is to expand this kind of, like, as I say, we've got to this point at which this character's been diagnosed. And we want to see her experience of encountering other ill people. And what encountering other ill people and what the experience of illness might tell you about all of our experiences in the city. And we want to perform it in a space that is resonant with the history of the East End. What was very beautiful about performing it in this cemetery was that within Tower Hamlets Cemetery are buried 18,000 people. And that's more people than live in Tower Hamlets at the moment. So there are more dead people in Tower Hamlets Cemetery, which is quite a small area, than live in Tower Hamlets at the moment. There's something about this cemetery contains the history of the entire area. So that's the goal of the next bit of the project, is to find a venue that can respond to that in the way that the cemetery did so beautifully, but maybe find a venue that's indoors. But can give us that kind of idea of the medical environment and that medical way of looking at somebody. I think that's something that came across so beautifully in the play, actually, was how we used medical examinations and physical examinations that we got from our interviews with doctors and things like that gave us a kind of very medical way of looking at people's experience of their own bodies, a way of thinking about people and their bodies and what it means to perform and what it means to be yourself. And what it means to just experience yourself as a person. And the next thing is to start kind of what that means, what an understanding of that might mean to how you get to know other people. Specifically in an area like Whitechapel, whereby you have to encounter other people from other backgrounds all the time. Yeah, that's cool.